What's up guys, if you haven't joined me before, my name's Luke and this channel is all about my guitar progress. It's about tips that I share along the way, and it's also about reviews of guitar courses, which is what I'm going to be looking at today. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then please hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and give it a big thumbs up if you like it. So a few weeks ago now I signed up for Mary Spender's beginner guitar course. It's aimed at those who are complete beginners looking to build a foundation in fingerstyle guitar, and also those who are looking to play without having to use a pick. If you don't know who Mary is, she's a singer-songwriter from the UK, and she's got quite a successful YouTube channel with over 350,000 subscribers last time I looked. She does reviews, interviews, does her own songs, covers other songs, and generally has a good mix of content throughout it. And about 2 to 3 months ago she released her first beginner guitar course, and that's what we're going to be looking at today, so let's get into it. So who is the course aimed at? Well, Mary explains that it's for those beginners who are looking to build a foundation in fingerstyle guitar, and as well as those who'd like to learn how to play without using a pick. The course costs $50 and is available as a masterclass through Teachable.com. This means that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, you'll get a refund. But when you look at it as an overall $50 versus what you'd have to pay for in-person guitar lessons, it's a pretty reasonable cost. But it's going up against obviously all those lessons that are available online, so it'd be interesting to see how it stacks up. So before we dive into the course, let's look at it as an overall. There's 44 lessons in total, and the majority of these under 5 minutes long. There's a total of 2.5 hours of tuition. An hour of that is teaching you how to play guitar, and the other hour and a half is focused on the songs. So let's now get into the computer and have a look at exactly what you get. Okay, so this is Mary's course, and it's a bit of an introduction when you first scroll down, telling you about who the course is for, but it pretty much sums it here. It's for complete beginners who'd like to learn the basics of fingerstyle, and that you can play on either acoustic or electric. The two songs that you really cover in depth are Blues Duet and Meet Me in Croatia, and there are other songs, one of which is probably my favourite song, Primrose, is kind of done in an easy kind of basic chord strum along. You also get to learn a few things like tabs and bits and pieces, but we'll get inside the course and you can have a look for yourself. So there are about 44 lessons in total, and you can first see that this introduction tells you about how to use the course, and she places an emphasis on playing about 15 minutes a day just to build up a habit. Obviously when you first start playing guitar, your fingers are going to hurt anyway, so 15 minutes is probably about all you want to do. She also covers what guitar to choose. It's more about the different types and how they work, and then goes through the parts of the guitar, the nut, the bridge, etc. So you get to learn the instrument that you're using. Then posture's covered, which I always think is really good to have in a course. I certainly need to always work on mine. I'm too busy hunched over looking at the fretboard. I'm quite guilty of that. So it was a good reminder to see that as she was moving through the course. Then she went into the basic maintenance of the guitar, talking about replacing your strings and how to tune it, just generally those things you need to know in order to sort of keep on playing. You then actually start to be able to play guitar. In this lesson here you start doing an exercise, so that's good, but then you go straight into chord charts and tabs. So it actually takes a bit of time before you actually start playing, so that can be a little bit frustrating for some. Following on from that, you do a little bit of a strum. Obviously the course is centered around finger style guitar, finger picking, but there's just a little bit of strumming, and this is strumming without using a pick, so you're just using your thumb and forefinger and just learning how to strum. It's kind of a light strum. It's quite a cool technique to learn, but you could pick that up somewhere else if you wanted to. She then goes into some essential open chords she believes you should learn, and these aren't all specific actually to the songs that you're going to learn. So Blues Duet down here and Meet Me in Croatia, they are obviously useful chords, but you don't get to really try all of them out within a song, so to speak. Obviously she said in her course that she will update all the songs elements of it. Obviously she's an artist herself, so as she develops and produces more songs, she said that she's going to add to this course, and it will forever grow. You also then start to get your intro to fingerpicking, and this is where I think it's a little bit light. You've only got one lesson here on the intro to fingerpicking, and then otherwise it's all covered in these tutorials and demonstrations within each song. So for example, here you've got the studio version, just the sound of the song. Then you've got a breakdown of the lyrics and just the chords that you use, and then you actually get the tab, because obviously it is fingerstyle, so you can get some tab to get to see what she's actually doing. And then there's a full tutorial and demonstration, so it's a breakdown of the song and how she plays it. There's actually varying levels within those lessons that she has in terms of the song itself.
In this lesson, we are going to learn my song called Blues Duet, which is perfect for this course because there are so many different stages you can get to, but initially we can just start with 4 chords. And the reason I wrote it with just 4 chords was because I was using a loop pedal a lot at the time.
So this is it. She talks about the different levels of the song itself, and obviously as you develop as a beginner and you practice these songs, you can increase your ability and your skills in order to play them. So that is obviously a good thing to do. It's always a good thing to work on a song and develop it. It can get a bit monotonous sometimes and you wish to swap, but you've got another song here you can jump from. If you know her songs at all, you've got Meet Me in Croatia. I wasn't so familiar with Blues Duet, but I knew Meet Me in Croatia and I know Primrose. So what's good is obviously you can develop that. And then also she goes on to explain in this set of lessons centered around her song here, you get to do the minor pentatonic scale, and then you see a full performance by her, and then a video that shows her actual picking hand. I didn't find the particular angle of this that helpful, to be honest, and I'll show you here why. Now personally, I can't see her fingers that well. Obviously you've got the tab that accompanies this, so you do get some idea. But I found it a little bit awkward to see that, to be honest. And if you followed it along with the tab, it's not entirely helpful. Moving on from that, then you obviously get to finish the song by accompanying her as she plays through it and you play alongside her. In between the lessons, here there's the accompanying bit. In between the lessons of Blues Duet and Meet Me Croatia, you can obviously practice those and develop them and then move on. And then it's the same kind of sequence of lessons repeated for Meet Me in Croatia. And you can see she's got the audio studio version, lyrics in the chord sheet, guitar tab, full tutorial, the full performance, then the concentration on the picking hand, and then finally you get to accompany her. Then you get into a few more bits to sort of towards the end of the course, and those are chord progressions, a basic playthrough of Primrose where you get the chord sheet so you can play along to that. I particularly like the riff within Primrose. It was a bit unfortunate that I couldn't get to play that, but maybe she'll sort of develop that in a future course. Long Island City is another really good song I enjoy that she's produced, and again you get a basic version of that. Then you get an introduction, really, I'd say, to kind of bar chords and obviously power chords, and obviously we all know those are the crux for most beginners, and it takes a while to get through those, and it still does for me. So it's always good to get some further advice about those. The last 3 lessons of the course are around using a capo, useful accessories, and the tools that she used to write songs. Obviously this is centered around learning her songs. She is a sing-songwriter, and I think, you know, if you're a fan of hers, maybe you want to sort of follow the same route. So if you look overall, it's actually not too long a course, but it was an interesting one to play through, and I'll give you my thoughts on it now. So what do I like about the course? Well, Mary's an excellent presenter, and this is obvious if you've ever seen any of her YouTube channel. She's very clear and calming in her voice, and so when she's explaining the basics of guitar, it's very easy to digest. The videos themselves are very well produced and well lit, and also the videos themselves are generally under 5 minutes long. This means they're kind of bite-sized chunk videos, and it helps keep the pace of the course. I also like the fact that you can jump around the course. You're not restricted to any particular areas. Not that you'd actually want to do this, but if you're a beginner, you might just want to focus on trying to get some of her songs, as well as mixing up learning some of the chords and some of the other parts like a pentatonic scale. So that's interesting, and it also helps you move around when you need to. There are a number of elements in the course though that I didn't particularly enjoy, I think could be improved. And firstly, the one is about the advice about buying a guitar. I think that should sit outside a paywall, because obviously people have bought the course, it'd be a bit too late if you've already bought a guitar. Also, I think it takes a bit too long to actually get to the guitar playing. I think it's by about the 14th lesson that you actually start playing. So if you're an absolute beginner, you might get frustrated with not being able to do that and maybe jump ahead and start getting into the songs. If there was a mix early on throughout the course, I think that would help keep the interest and obviously help the confidence of the beginner guitar player. Whilst the videography of the course is very good and well produced and good sound, I did find that it wasn't always clear on what she was playing. There's one, for example, where I was trying to learn her song Blues blues duet, and the tab didn't match quite how she was playing, in my opinion. So I went to look at the video that she had on her picking hand, and that didn't make it much clearer, to be quite honest. So I felt a little bit frustrated by that. I think some kind of interactive chord or showing which fingers were working which strings and when they were picking would obviously help in this respect. The chords themselves that you learn within the course aren't your normal cowboy chords, so don't expect to learn these and then be able to transition to some easy strumming songs, for example. They're fun to play though, but as an absolute beginner I don't think they're very transferable. There's really no theory throughout the course either, so if you're interested in learning that, then I don't think this would be for you. At times I felt the course rushed through a little bit, and Mary could have taken a lot more time to explain those. I think that's particularly important when you're teaching to an absolute beginner, because they want to play alongside you and build up that confidence, get those early wins, so to speak, to help build the habit. So overall I think Mary's course is excellent for those interested in her as an artist and learning her songs. But if you're looking for a foundation in fingerpicking guitar, I don't think this is for you. But if you disagree or agree or have any kind of suggestions or thoughts about the course, then let me know below. That's it for this week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.